Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist one too. And all in between. This is for the absolute positive, good God, and truth of you, only crossing bigger and better. I'm going to speak on a couple things, and then after I speak on them, right, I'll let you just digest them and maybe get at me with what you think. You know, I kept getting links from this Mud Fossil University, right? And I click on one of these links, right? And it's this guy, and he's doing all these abracadabra hand jobs. Then he starts talking about, causing neutrons to split with energy and stuff like that. You make a long story short, man. I am not messing with this guy. Look, he's absolutely expressing the devil, right? To the science of him, to how he showed up at my page, to the illusion and tricks of all he is, right? To the reality check of that Sheba shaft, like that he expressed up in that video. So, if you don't want to be accused of being the devil, don't incarnate with him. That's all I can tell you. Now, check me out. In my last video, right, if you look on the description link, you will see that I stated that through the video, before the description link, that I'm a father, right? If I don't take care of my children, give them enough to eat, enough to drink, a way to sustain, right, with a home, utilities, and proper education, I'm neglecting my children. Now, this government is established by corporations, right, that are made up of families. Now, if your government, right, doesn't know the good truth of how reality works to the bigger and better of them always, and your corporations don't know the good truth of how things work to the bigger and better of you always, right? And the families don't know how things work good as truth to you to the bigger and better of always, right? For everlasting with peace. Well, all of them can only be one way. Static, twisted, scattered, blind, and undefined with faith, right? To know what's good as truth, thinking things cross bad, when all reality check only crosses one more positive than all negativity, only adding up good as truth, the absolute bigger and better than all, until all subtracts to one neutral nothing, or they are the negative way, right, with energy in a state of decay and disintegration to the reality check of their matter, crisscrossing to one neutral nothing, just negative of them here and now, absolutely positively good as truth, the absolute bigger and better, right, of your jails, prisons, and wars. And I'll tell you something, if you can't see that the only way that we're being stated negatively deficient is through these things and not having the proper homes always, right, under your guidance and leadership, right, or a way to sustain these things reasonably, right, through the money we make and spend, right, well, in reality check, you are neglecting us as leadership, as your corporations, and as the heads of your families, man. You're selling out all God, truth, reality check. Now, the reason I can say this is if your courts, right, no matter what, only crossed all we were of negativity back one more positive, right, only adding us up together instead of victims and crooks, only bigger and better than all negativity. And if somebody got too foolish, send them home with a fair warning. Some things are so negative, they will kill you absolutely to one neutral nothing, just negative of you here and now, absolutely positive and good as truth, right, to reality check. But because they don't do it, they call us bad, right, and they take the children of all we are, man, and they steal our innocence and they rob it with the devil of us, right? They put negative with negativity, right, to fester, right, and to grow in prisons. So says the numbers of them, right, and the people in there and the toxicity being released back on the streets to breed out, right, and kill us out to one neutral nothing because their inferior leadership is of faith, man. No good as truth to only cross all things back one more positive to be good as truth, the absolute bigger, better than all negativity. And I guarantee you, if you start tearing down your prisons today, right, you have way more than enough material to build somebody or anybody, right, or everybody, some little Tesla homes, right? To go not on things in, you know, and to be safe and up out of the elements in. So your workers are always sustained and secure no matter what. And if they want more, they'll earn it. You hear me? Through a slight tax, we could do this, but they won't. They want to play games with me. You hear me? Throw pretty girls at me. Listen, I have my way with them pretty girls, and guess what I do? I throw them back at them. You dig? I don't let the devil have his dues on me, man. You dig? I'm always ahead of the game on that because I'm preset to cross all negativity back one more positive to be good as truth. I only add up bigger and better than all negativity, enlightening out the heavenly Adam man of all I am. Check me out. If I cross north, south, east, or west, I only do it one way, from the inside out, at 360 degrees, when crisscross with all negativity, right? Bigger and better than all until all subtracts to one neutral nothing, right? Just negative in my here and now being positive and good, right? Am I a body of atoms or am I a body of energy of the light of God to the good God and truth of all reality? Check, only crossing bigger and better. All right? Now, I say that life is an orgasmic affair of God, of the energy of God, of the male energy of all I am happening. And I'll explain to you why. Prior to all of existence being created, all things was male energy, a flow of it, right? And God as truth, right? Wanted to embody, right? The good God and truth of the man up of all I am. And through slowing down lesser than light speed caused the energy to coagulate from the center, right? And create the first primordial atom, which was Pistis Sophia. And as the reality of this neutronic matter, right, became a drag on itself, right, with the gravity of it, right, the good God and truth of the male energy of all I am, right, instead of it letting it cross negative to one, neutral, nothing, just absolutely, positively not here and now, it caused Pistis Sophia to explode, right, and birth out the seeds of the good God and truth of all reality. Check I am. And before that, right, as she was coming into herself of creation, right, because the negative dense matter of all creation of existence was on her as a dragon of energy. She crossed negative with negativity to desire to create on her own, right, and God as truth was the bigger and better of her creation. So in reality, check, he caused her to explode, right? And that dragon, right, to explode, right, into all things matter creation of existence. And when it did, it split into two energies. One is the male energy of all I am, the positive energy of all creation of existence, of all bonding matters of atoms of shape, form, and mass, to durability, structure, and matter of all they are, to the bigger and better of all being. And then there was the negative energy, right, which was just the static, twisted, scattered, undefined energy of all creation of existence that went to the point of all the neutrons. And neutrons are not neutral. They are always negatively deficient of absolutely crossing one positive to be good outside of an atom. And that's why they're always in a state of decay and disintegration that way. And inside the atom, they are all only sustained by the more positive, durable energy, right, of the proton to the bigger and better of all there'll ever be of atoms crossing and bonding and elemental matter to reality. Check, okay? And because the male energy of God of all I am, right, is a denser, more bigger, better energy, even though the energy split into parts, anything more positive is stated good as true to its shape, form, and mass, to the here and now reality check of its matter, okay? And anything negative is in a state of decay and disintegration. The good God and truth of the absolute bigger and better are nothing, just negative energy of dust, of wind, waiting to be reabsorbed, absolutely, positively deficient. A bigger, better energy of the Adam man first evolved, the triple male of all I am. So when all of creation of existence came back more positive, male with energy, good as true, so says the here and now of us, a humanoid ape species was on the earth. And the energy of all I am, just like today, crossed into this humanoid ape species and caused most of them to run themselves off a cliff, negatively deficient with the positive energy of all I am to the reality check of their polarity, just like Pistis Sophia. Because all energy is a positive source. It's the polarity of that energy that creates the negative charge of it, okay? And like all plugs, if you don't have them plugs plugged in and the male doesn't overwhelm the female, right, the positive overwhelm the negative, you'll burn your whole house down. And as a reality check, right, the incarnate spirit of all I am, right, incarnated a she-ape in the cavern of woe, and through an orgasmic affair of life happening, meaning the energy was bigger and better than her animalistic matter, right? Her apely matter, right? It caused her to become a higher energy stated being, right? To the reality check of a woman. And the first incarnate Adam man, first evolved of all I am, was created. And through this creation, the dynamo, that is the pyramid scheme around the world, was created through the men of old, the god kings of all I am, the giants of old. Just like giants of industry, they were giants of old. Size be varied. I do not know, but know the reality check of them. They were the good God and truth of the earth as a true sister reflection, and the energy of the Son of God of all I am at every point of time and space, only crossing bigger and better, one more positive and good as truth. And the other ape species that bred secondary with her became the Shiva lineage, who could not articulate the good and bad of them, right? More positive to be good as truth, always the absolute bigger and better than all negativity. And because of that, they were always more monkey than man to the reality check of their minds and bodies, and eventually just their bodies, because over time they bred out so inferior to where the God Kings didn't die. They could, and they were smaller people because of it, and they were always sickly and inferior, and they caused the pyramid dynamo to collapse on itself. And as a result, the first creation was destroyed. Now, there was many creations after this creation, but talking up to this flood, the second creation, as the Cobran Bible states, and even the Cobran admits that there's more than that, right? Civilizations coming and going, that could be, I'm not going to even put a timeline on it, but I am going to say this. If Adam, right, when he came to himself in the garden and knew he was an Adamic man and surrounded by Eve at his rib, at his side, from his rib, from his side, at all sides of him, would have crossed her more positive than the negatives of him, we'd all be good as truth. That'd been the bigger and better of Cain and Abel, and that'd been the bigger and better of all mankind, of all God, truth, reality check. But because he didn't, he crossed faithfully deficient, static, twisted, scattered, blind, and undefined, female with his energy to be the absolute bigger, better male energy of the reality check of their shape, form, and mass. And no matter what you think, right, at the time of conception, if a man, right, is more positive with male energy, right, the male is more positive with male energy, the baby will be the good truth of a male. And if the female is more positive with male energy, the baby will be the good truth of a female. Now, if they one together cross only the absolute bigger and better, good God and truth of all negativity, right, when they feel all, only adding up until all subtracts to one, neutral, nothing, just negative of the here and now, then that will be the absolute bigger and better of all mankind, all God, truth, reality check. And that is a fact check from the full thief man, God, King, Adam man, first evolved, the triple male of all I am.